So this morning, I will be sharing my own experience with you on one thing, and that's what we on accessing research grants, overcoming the capacity challenges to access research funding. Again, that will be the focus of my talk this morning, accessing research funding. So this is just a brief about me, what I've done in the past and what we are presently doing. So I want you to pay attention to the series of or some of these grants that we have won in the last few years. So you will observe that we started in 2013. 2013, that is 2013. But you can see as we try to increase the number from 2013 to what we have now. But that's not the only thing I want you to pay attention. Not only the number, let's look at the value. In 2013, when you look carefully, you will see that in 2013, our first grant was just 220,000 naira. 220,000 naira. How many of us we want to start with such a little amount now? Then we move to 1.9 and the rest. But that's not the major issue I want you to note. When we started in 2013, our idea is to do what is called the power of small money. The power of small money. That is, if you see or if you can see what we are going to use that little money to achieve, then you will be able to give us more. But what happened after we moved from power of small money, we now enter the era of what is called we can do it. We can do it. We can do it simply means that we had to for maybe 1.9 million, 1.5 million. And after that, we now move to the period where we now start charging real money. 39 million in grants, 75 million, and the rest. But if you don't start very small, how are you going to scale very big? So for today, I will be sharing my experience on two things: processes of overcoming the capacity challenges to access research funding. Most of us that are here today, our complaint might be, but I don't have lab in my university. I don't have supporting system. My HOD is not cooperating. I don't like the face of my dean. Or my dean is not even ready to listen to me. How are you going to overcome that? But after that, I will also be talking about grantmanship. Grantmanship. That will be the second thing I will be addressing today. So let's start. I have just 40 minutes. Accessing research funding. Please take note. Accessing research funding is a competition. It's a competition. It's like competing in the World Cup, or you want to compete in an Olympic game. It's not just for the faint-hearted. It's not just for anybody. Accessing research funding is a what? It's a competition. The Royal Academy of Engineering, the EPSA project that we have done won, was not just a national competition. Was more or less a global what? Competition. So it's not an issue of Ebani manager there. Ebani manager. If you are to write is and you write was, you may lose it just because of that. I shared with us yesterday. We scored 89.3 in one grant and we were still not able to be the best. 89.3. So accessing research funding is a what? Competition. And first of all, again, secondly, what do you mean by academia or lecturing? Some of us just think that going to classroom and marking script is our work. No, we are engaged with three things: knowledge generation, knowledge application, and knowledge dissemination. Knowledge generation, knowledge application, and knowledge dissemination. Those are the three things. But most of us, we normally think that just go to classroom, and some of us again, instead of focusing on the main thing that defines us as academia or academicians, we focus on the political end of the work, moving from one office to another, talking about Mr. A or Mr. B, or why is Mr. A close to this Mr. B, and why students normally troop to Mr. A's office. So that's part of, so we are involved with knowledge generation, knowledge application, and knowledge dissemination. Just a minute, please. And so knowledge generation, knowledge application, and knowledge dissemination. Those are the three things we are involved with. Again, we need to understand the difference or differences between innovation and invention. Innovation and invention. Innovation is the introduction of something new to improve the existing one. That is innovation. We must not mistake this one for invention. Innovation is totally different from invention. And that's why we normally make that distinction between Thomas Edison and Steve Jobs. Thomas Edison was an what? Inventor. Why Steve Jobs was what? An innovator. Because one worked on the existing one just to improve, while one came up with something new. So you must be clear. To me, the least I expect from us is maybe to be an innovator. Just look at existing problem, improve it. That's just enough. People have been doing certain things, and you come up with just improve that process. Again, research and innovation is not a small thing, and don't expect that someone will call you, just take this money. Yoruba will say, irunmulowo kò ṣe ṣe kíni, kò ṣe fatu. Don't just someone will give you 2 million and say go and use it to buy moi. Even if you are going to be given that amount, you must talk about that type of what? Moi ẹlẹ́ni méje tó wá ní ẹyin nínú àti salad. Abi? Yes. So what I just want us to know is that we assessing research grant, people doesn't just give you their money. You must come up with what is called novelty. Your work must be novel. Novelty. We are not saying that go and invent. Yes, you might end up with invention, but at least start thinking about novelty. If you are an undergraduate student, master student, or even with your business, people are not ready to pay you to do the same thing. They are only ready to pay you if you are coming up with something what? Different. So for this work, for this talk, let me quickly summarize one thing. For us to overcome the capacity or challenges in obtaining research funding, you alone cannot do it. Stop working alone. Stop assuming that because you are a PhD holder, you can access that research funding on your own. Yes, you can do it, but you need someone. You need even your mentees to work with you. So, 3 things. Number 1, we must learn how to work together. Number 2, we must learn how to collaborate. Number 3, we must form what is called a consortium. So those are the 3 things we need. So that's the summary of the work. Stop working in what? Isolation. Don't think that because you are a PhD holder, you are so better than others, or because you are now in professorial cadre. That's what you need. No. Let me tell us again, grantmanship is a full-time job. No way, nothing. You must dedicate your time to it. If you really want to grow in the system and you want to go far, and you want to be, I don't want to mention names. Yesterday, someone told us I was in Tunisia, I was in Egypt, I was in this. You can't get that if you are just just talking about the politics in academic. No, it's about grantmanship. It's about impact. It's about capacity. So number one, we must work together. Number two, we must collaborate. Number three, we must form what? A consortium. Some we have, but I'm an undergraduate student. Yes, 3 or 4 of you join yourself together to work together and you collaborate. Number one, challenges to accessing research funding. This is the first thing I need to let us know is that I'm used to all this complaint. Number one, no, but finding funders seems impossible. And then getting started feeling overwhelming. No, I can't just write. The last one I wrote, it was rejected. You must always remember that you may need to write more than one before you can get that opportunity. So these are some of the complaints we normally say, and then some will say, oh, blah, blah, blah. But in Nigeria, what I've listed here are the challenges facing us as a country. Number one, defective leadership selection process. How do we select our deans, our HOD, our VCs and the rest? Always remember, what you don't have, you can never give. If you don't have the skills to access research grants or research funding, you can never teach others. Number two, university suicidal mission mantra. Because University of Ibadan is at Ibadan, so the VC must be an Ibadan man. That is what we call university suicidal mission mantra. If you continue to go that way, be rest assured it's not for research funding accessing. Playing it all alone. Don't you know me? I'm Professor blah blah blah. I have PhD in this, I have this, and I can get. No. Most of the funding agencies now, they look at collaborative, multidisciplinary work and the rest. Yesterday we were talking about natural language processing. That is, you have to meet people. Just this morning again, we had meeting with Royal Academy of India, and that was part of the question, multidisciplinary nature of our team. They were so happy with it. And so what I just want to share is that you can't do it alone. And then number four, why we are having problem with accessing research funding. Most universities, like most of our universities, we churn out nothing less than 5,000 graduates every year. And part of the requirement is that they must conduct final year project. What are we doing with it? Now it's just annual ritual. One in share, no share. Nothing is coming out of it. So we need. That means that from 5,000 projects, that if you are able to convert just 1% of that to business, or you can know how many companies will be generating. So we cannot continue to be asking, go and bring chapter 1 to 3 as your proposal, and you expect innovation from that. We must change the way we look at our final year project. And then absence of mentoring, zero mentoring, I will still talk about that, zero innovation culture, and lots and lots. And the last one, sit-down look syndrome, that mo fẹ́ wo bí tó máa bàjá. That's not the culture. You must invite yourself. Professor Bamidele told us that one yesterday. If they don't invite you, it means you have nothing to offer. And then if they say they are not inviting you, then invite yourself. I want to come and learn what you are doing. Ọ̀pọ̀ èèyàn Ọlọ́run ò ní ṣe wá ní ara àwọn ogunlọ́gọ̀. So you have to invite yourself. So let's look at the first one, no measurable key performance indicator for our leadership. VCs and this, we will say it must be an erudite scholar. How do you measure that? But look at 2 universities calling people to respond to occupy the position of VC-ship. One says possess a proven and demonstrable ability to attack back, but the other one says you must have attracted this with KPIs and the rest. There is no way we can continue to use this one on the right hand side to select when you compare it with the left hand like that. Candidate must demonstrate consistent academic productivity of professorial level by publishing at least 10 research articles. Don't forget, whenever we are developing our research objectives, we talk about smartness. That is, it must be what? Specific, measurable, actionable, responsive, and time-bounded. But another one say, be a highly distinguished academic of the rank of professor. Which one is measurable there now? You can see the difference. So, on our own, we need to set our KPIs. As a researcher, as Musa, what am I going to deliver? As Olatunde, what are you going to deliver? You must set what? Measurable KPI. Professor Akonji, in his valedictory lecture, warned us, and he said that our university, Nigerian University, on suicidal path. Suicidal path. That is, if the current situation persists, it will lead to, what is that situation? Because University of Ibadan, a federal university, is located at Ibadan. Therefore, an Ibadan man must be the what? VC. That is the suicide. Until we change that KPI. He said, if the current situation persists, it will lead to self-immolation of our university, which will consequently result in non-competitiveness, which is counterpart from other regions of the world. And then again, when you look, this campus is regarded as the Africa's most beautiful campus for those who have not been opportune to visit the campus. You can visit it. But when you reach that campus, one thing is obvious nowadays, you see a lot of banks on campus. Why? Or in your campus or in your university, you will see banks having their presence, offices, small offices there. Why? It is because, why do we have banks on campus? It is just about moving closer to your what? To your customers. Are we really moving close to our customers as lecturers, as researchers? When was the last time you had discussion with your students? When was the last time you entered class to teach philosophy 191? And what you first of all told your student is about the key thing happening, or the project you are handling, or your idea, your vision. Most of us, we enter class and we frown face and you ask question, you go out. Class supposed to start by 9 a.m. You are arriving at 9:01 without excuse and apology. That is fraud. 9:01, you are already late. If you don't understand what I mean, just when they say boarding we close by 10 o'clock, just go by 10:01, say shebi na just 1 minute. And if God is to help you, let it be an international flight. You will understand the meaning, the importance of 1 minute. So if you are 1 minute late to your class, the first thing you owe your student is to apologize. I'm sorry, I'm 1 minute late. Yes, maybe I had this on the road, or you should have informed them. So when was the last time you really discussed with your students? When was the last time you traveled out of your base and then coming back, the first thing you shared in your class was chocolate or sweet? When was it? So those are the things we need to now move closer to our what? To our customers. So these are some of the challenges that we need to overcome if we need to start assessing research funding. So number one, together we will overcome that challenges. Number one is about collaborative and multidisciplinary projects. Stop doing it alone. Stop writing that proposal on your own. Don't assume because you have PhD, you are far better off than others. Yes, PhD is to equip you with the necessary skill to conduct research, but that doesn't give you, or that doesn't make you alpha and omega of research, of grantmanship. Number 2, partnership. We need to even partner. Now, number 1, let me ask us, let's assume in the faculty of engineering, how many in computer engineering knows what is happening in mechatronics engineering department? Again, that is even interdepartmental collaboration is not what? In existence. Or how many researchers you know in your office, you actually know what they are into? Do you normally have monthly research seminar in your department? This is not about shooting them down. This is about you coming to listen to your colleagues. Until we start partnering, or until we start looking at partnership vertically, horizontally, and diagonally. And what we are championing, it is what we call quadruple helix, not triple helix again, quadruple. Academia, industry, government, and the society. Partnership. And then research targeting societal challenges. Dr. Habib from Abiodun shared experience with us yesterday about potholes. Yes, it's a local challenge and the rest. How many people have we lost along Lagos-Ibadan Express, or some of our due to potholes? We need to solve it. Nobody will come and solve that problem for us. Let's start solving local what? Problems. So, number 1, to overcome capacity challenges. Now, that's why this project has come. And I'm going to share experience from the last one we finished, which is AI for CE, Artificial Intelligence for Clean Energy. That one was also funded by Royal Academy of Engineering, UK. And it has to do with hub-spoke arrangement, where we organize workshops and seminar series across universities and the rest. Again, how to find funding. That's another thing you normally talk about. Funding. Very easy. Just get one of your students. Give him 1,000 naira. What do you want to, what will he or she use that 1,000 naira to do? Just to buy data. And you will not tell him your heart. Give him those keywords. Grant plus your feed. And on weekly basis, ask him to be turning it in for you. That's one. Even if you don't have students, go to Google and set the alert there and put some keywords there. So there are a lot of funding agencies, even in Nigeria. Do you know about Tech Fund, Funding Opportunity, NCDMB, NCC, and so on and so forth? Even if you can't get that, how many times have you discussed with your colleagues that are in the industry? What are the challenges in your company? Your friends can even sponsor a research grant with 50,000 naira. 50,000 naira. With 50,000 naira, just give it to one of your final year students working on that project, and you will see that student turning something in. Funding opportunity. So we have lots about, for international, you can see Amazon is there, National Science is there, Royal Academy is there, lots. Let me tell you, that's one of the advantage of COVID-19. COVID-19 has brought us a lot of funding opportunities. If you are not assessing or harnessing them, it's your headache. How many of us have even set alert on our Gmail that anytime there is anything about grants, inform me? How many of us on our social media pages have we followed or following Tech Fund, NCC, NCDMB, Raw Materials, Dangote Group, and Foundation? Follow them on their social media handles. But what do we do? Baba Risi Tosho Kuano. Ateni Toshe Yahoo. And what we just that makeup. makeup artist ò ṣe dáadáa. Stop wasting your time on the or status of the viewing. Mostly we spend on averagely, for some of us that are not so vibrant on social media, or we watch TV for 2 hours every day. Normally for any human being now, it's minimum of 2 hours or maximum of 8 hours a day. How? 2 hours is how many minutes? 120 minutes, am I right? A video update on a status, you saw how many seconds? 30 seconds. So if you divide 120 minutes divided by 2, by 0.5, it will give you 240. Am I right? So once you watch 240 videos on someone's status, you have consumed 2 hours video out of 24 hours. That's 1/12 gone. But because you are doing it little by little, some of us, people like me, I can upload 12 videos on my status. So what you just need for your 2 hours is just 10 or 20 of my type. Simple. 20 of my type and watch our status. You have consumed what? 2 hours. 2/24 is what? 1/12. 1/12 goes for what? Unproductive content. And again, you are what you consume. You are what you consume. If what you consume is how you check, then that is you. But if what you consume is you are going from one organization to another, looking at opportunities there, that is you. Again, we have National Funding Agency, Aibinu is there, NCC, TED Fund, GIZ, and so on and so forth. This slide will be available to all of us. So, the first thing I need to tell us, scaling through the first stage of research funding. Number one, how many of us as lecturer, most of us, we have one office or the other. Even if what you have is a table, it's enough as a research facility. Your table and your chair is what? Enough. You don't need more than that at your first stage. The next one is, if you have that opportunity, if you are a HOD of a department, your labs are there. What are you using your labs to achieve? Only student practical? Something is fundamentally wrong. You need to look behind that. You need to partner with your technologists and the rest. You need to go behind that. So, kindly note that when you need to write start from concept notes. Start. What are those things that you need? You must keep that concept note very brief, just 1 page. You need to send something to your friend in the industry. Má wo pé ẹjọ́ parí ni. Bọ́lá ń bá ti gbógo fún gbá. What you are just asking is 50,000 naira to sponsor a final year student project. It's enough. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa, they can fund that. But have we discussed it with them? What are we asking them? We are asking them for 200,000, 500,000. If you want to test this idea, when you get back to your university, just paste on your doorstep 50,000 naira design grant for good final year project design on this. You will see those students knocking your office. Man, they will bombard your office. 50,000 naira. Don't forget, we also as a research group, we started with power of small money, just 200,000 naira research grants. So, what you need to do, write a concept note, just 1 page. 1 page concept note. 1 page, a page. That's what you need. But when you are writing that, you must keep it brief. And you must explain your idea clearly. And stop writing to yourself. Write to your audience. And write for your audience. And spell out the benefit. Why should I find the YDX that I don't understand the benefit in the YDX? The YDX, okay, how does it relate with me in the industry? You must spell out the benefit. Don't assume that I know and then put it all together. That is, let your document says it all. And then, scaling through the first stage might be challenging, but what are those things they normally consider? What you are writing about, the available fund, and then scientific merit. They don't have to know you before they will fund your work. You don't need ngbati abi I know you, you know me. And then good communication. And lastly, before that, well-prepared documents. Don't just assume that you can send rubbish to them and they will fund it. You must dot all your I's and cross your T's. Like in our own group, we have a language expert. That person's job is to cross our I's and dot our T's. Divide the etc. but put comma at the right place and but put forward stop. That is that person's contribution. Telling me to now be running after one comma and then you are just creating headache for me. But someone must handle that on my behalf. So, scientific merits, what are those things we mean? Does it address an important problem? Will scientific knowledge be advanced? Does it build or expand on the current? That is novelty we are talking about. Stop just lighting. If you are in chemistry, start thinking about application of AI in biochemistry. We are not talking about the fourth industrial revolution, industry 4.0. I can tell you some keywords that once you put them in your research is looking at that area, be rest assured. Prof also shared with us, when you talk about climate change, green and renewable energy, clean energy, artificial intelligence, education 4.0 and the rest, you may likely get funding. But if you are still talking about is what your supervisor told you 5 years ago, that means your research is not for today. Your research is for ibitawe yoti koja. If you are in microbiology and we are not talking about artificial intelligence, something then you are not talking about today. If you are not talking about, if you are in education and you are still talking about measuring the impact of teaching mathematics using PowerPoint. PowerPoint is good, yes, but we are no longer there. We are talking about virtual reality. What is bus stop Utomo? What is Kane? Bus City now? Virtual reality. We are talking about augmented reality. We are talking about CNT. We are talking. Some years ago, it is about how to have micro devices and this. Now we are talking about pico devices. Pico. And you are now talking about nano. And we're not in law. So, scientific, and then is it feasible? Is it implementable? And then again, you must actually know you have to use the right register every time. So, but the main art of it is what you call grantmanship, and that's the message for today. Grantmanship is the act of acquiring financial grant through the process of grant writing. If you are still in doubt that do they really fund research work, then you are wasting your money. You are not at the right place. Funding is true and is genuine. And nobody asks for kickback when it comes to grantmanship. I can tell you we have accessed nothing less than, in the last 10 years, we have accessed nothing less than 25 different research grants. I shared it at the beginning and I'm still going to talk about it. So grantmanship is an act of acquiring financial grant through what? The process of grant writing. And then it's a learned skill. You need to acquire it. And then writing grant applications, standard operating protocol and manner of procedures that get approved. It doesn't just come by what? By manage it. Nobody manage rubbish. But I want you to take note of that last bullet there. Grantmanship is a full-time job. It's a full-time job. You cannot be micromanaging it. If you are the type that is used to micromanaging things, then grantmanship is not for you. Because, or if you are the type that you are very used to, Aibinu, I'm just late for 3 minutes, then grantmanship is not for you. Because most of the grant management system, they are now automated. They just put the time there. Once you miss the time, in a lie, well, you know a name of Jihun. You don't, it will not buy a day. You pay a job about Donini. No. So grantmanship is a full-time job. Learn about the grant application process. So that is just grantmanship. But the question is that I'm still a student. Can I acquire this skill? Yes. We have shared with us some of our students that we have been training for the past 8 weeks on grantmanship and publishing in high impact index. And some of them, the highest degree or certificate they have is just what? SSCE. Just the same way you learn all this, that's the way you learn. And Yoruba will say, or in the society, they will say, Firigbo Oshikini o, Oshinekun. Ẹni tó bá mú kíni dání o, tó bá mú kí dání ló máa ṣí. I have PhD in my PhD was on Harvard. I'm a product of Oxford. Ìyẹn ò ní kó kọ̀kọ́ kú kọ̀kọ́ gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Grantmanship is a full-time job. You need to learn it, how to, and you need to acquire the skill. So my suggestion, very easy. 3 things you need to act or plan. You need to think, and you need to write. Those are the 3 things you need if you want to acquire that skill. You plan, you think, and you write. Again, you plan, you think, and you write. And suggestion number 1, anytime you need to apply for any grant, you must read the instruction carefully. That's just what you need. You must understand the requirement. That's why I say read the application instructions carefully. Because some may say they don't fund. We are one of our colleagues. Why they miss that grant is just because of the funding. They say for equipment, the total sum must not be more than 20%, and they quoted 21%. Should be just 1%. Now they for you for their call. No. Read the instruction carefully. Number 2, collaborate with others. Let them fill the gap in your expertise and training. I told you in our own team, we have someone, English major. You will now be asking, kí ló ní ṣe pẹ̀lú AI? Abi, what's the contribution? How can someone in English language be in your team in STEM and the rest? We need someone who will help us dot our I's and cross our T's. So collaborate with others and let them add that critical skills to your own team. You can't have it all. And then again, if you don't have that, just identify someone that doesn't like your face in your department as a lecturer. You know Dr. Hay doesn't like your face. When you have your first draft, give it to that Dr. Hay, because he's your enemy, or he doesn't like. If we want to show you that you have prepared rubbish, he will scrutinize everything for you. If you say no, this is totally rubbish. What is new here? Professor this has done that in 1941, and then Dr. this did it in 1899. That person will assist you. So always show your first draft to that person that doesn't like your face. Let him critique it. So suggestion number 3 is that grantmanship is a full-time job. And it's not that o ma gbe ẹsẹ̀ kan so that ma wo checking. No. You put ẹsẹ̀ méjèèjì. Grantmanship is a full-time job. Nothing. And then writing concept note, grant application and the rest that get approved, you need to learn it. No, comot the YDX. You need to acquire that skill. And nínú orin àwọn àfáà wọ́n máa ń ẹni mọ̀nà ló yẹ ká tẹ̀lé wa jáde náà sùúrù wa àbí wa jáde náà àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ Again, anyone of Moyeka Shekini, Moyeka Temi. Get someone that has passed through this stage. Humble yourself. Learn that one. Acquire it. Number 4, knowing what to do and how to do it is important. Be willing to do what is necessary. That little step, that's what we that grant. Number 6, always remember it is multidisciplinary nowadays, multi-institutional, collaboration, partnership, and it's about quadruple helix. We should stop working in isolation. Our bank city were on our campus. Shower not igbeja lo ba won ri. No, ati lo. We just, don't you know me? I'm Professor Lagu. And then when we are given opportunity to talk in their midst, I just say, hi, Professor Abiodun Musa Aibinu. I've been working on new paradigm to convert nanoparticle from the carbon nanoscale using auto spider drone that will be multifaceted on an optimization algorithm using perpetual motion machine of the ninth order with a kinetic 6. Prof no mi en tòótọ́. Ó ti sọ gbogbo ẹ̀, but you have said it all, but you have said what? Nothing. Communication. That is why we must have the right mix of mentors and mentees. And then again, summarily, you must always know that your idea must be succinct and you must target a problem and always ask yourself, does it address an important problem? Lastly, let me just share with us our own case study. Again, this is a case study of what we have tried. Wọ́n ní tí o bá lọ bá àwọn ìjọ kan máa ní ògùn kéré. Ó máa béèrè pé ògùn tó ń fún mi rí, ṣó ti ṣe kí ni, ṣó ti ṣe é rí. So until you tell that person, yes, that I've passed through and I've used this, that's when that person will connect in their own tribe. So that's the approach I want to use. We have passed through this stage and I want to share just our little. First of all, you need to have, as Professor Bamidele told us, you need to have a vision where you are going. Like this is, before coming here, you can see our dream is to make FUT the maker of mechatronics, the maker of mechatronics engineering, the Bethlehem of artificial intelligence, and the Disney world of innovation. That was the dream. And then Alhaji Agba nínú orí wọn kan, that is Dr. Sikiru Ayinde Barrister, Alhaji Agba of blessed memory. Ìgbà tó lọ sí Orlando, he visited Orlando and then Disney World. Ó wá sọ nínú orin ẹ pé ẹni tó bá kúrò Nàìjíríà tó lọ sí America tó dé Orlando tí kò dé Disney World, ìrun ẹ ṣe kí ni o, ìrun ẹ kẹ́ẹ̀kan. Our dream is that whenever you say you visit FUT and you did not visit our innovation room, our exhibition room, ìrun ẹ ṣe kí ni o, ìrun ẹ kẹ́ẹ̀kan. So that was why. And then at the Department of Mechatronics Engineering, Federal University of Technology, we are committed to the training of 21st century industry fitted graduates. That's why most of our students, we create opportunities for them and we ensure they are 21st century graduates. Then we started the research group. Not from anything. I was just common HOD. That HOD, common, yes, very powerful, very this, but that's what you need. Even if you don't have that, what you just need is your table. And then, how did you solve the problem of funding for innovation by grantmanship? As I've said, we organized ourselves and we started the training. And you can see what we have achieved. And we started at a time that I was the only PhD holder in the group. Only PhD holder in the group. And others were even just master degree holder and MSc. Only PhD holder. And we started, as I said, we started with we can do it. That let's just show you that we can do it. After we can do it, iṣẹ́ ọ̀fẹ́ ló bá dé. Then we enter the era that we call the power of small money. The power of small money, if you look at it, when we write proposal to you, we are not asking you for 500,000, 1 million. We are just asking you for 200,000, 250,000 naira. You can see our first grant, 220,000 naira. After that era, the power of small money, then we enter the era of what we call the power of small money. That is 220,000. Then we now move to another stage that we call connecting the dots. We have offered you free, then we show you power of small money, then we now start connecting the dots. That àti ṣiṣẹ́ ọ̀fẹ́ rí, àti ṣe olówó kékeré rí, now a fẹ́ gba owó ńlá. And that was the time we now started writing proposal for 30 million, 70 million. You could see 26 million, 75 million. Like this one that we are talking about under AI for FS is an equivalent of 60 million naira. That is 998,000 pounds. At the rate of 800 naira, you can imagine. So at here now, we are not starting from that. But to me, that 60 million, 70 million, tá fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní báyìí, owó kékeré ni o. Títorí pa ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní àti blow ni o. Once we blow now, we will be talking about 1.3 million grand, 1.3 million pounds. Or I told us the one we lost after scoring 89 was 1.2 million, 1.2 million euro pound. And I don't want to mention a name here. That person is leading our consortium, and the person we are talking about 1.5 million something. So not in naira. Owó Aibinu. What's the exchange rate now? Let's say 500 naira to $1. So if you are saying $1 million, you are talking about what? 500 million naira. That's what we want to be winning here. But we are starting very small with equivalent of what? 60 million. So the whole idea now is that's what we are doing now. And then we introduce what is called acadopreneurship. Acadopreneurship means that how you are going to turn your academic into business ventures. And then this is the symbol for the logo of acadopreneurship. That is from academic art and the rest to pounds, dollar, naira and the rest. You must put something. Prof told us yesterday, something must motivate you. Like èmi say, free food tí máa jẹ níbí ló motivate ni wá láàárọ̀ yìí. Yí pé mo máa jẹ free breakfast. Something must motivate you. And then wọ́n máa fún mi ní free lunch. Ọmọ tó wọ́njẹ ni máa gbé àpò mi. Something must motivate you. So that is what is motivating us, that we must be able to turn our academic ideas into not naira only, dollar, pounds, CFA, and so on. And we must interface with the industry and so on. So this lastly, that has also led us to other things. We have been like this grant now was just a minor, very small change that we collected 40,000 USD for this work, X for DH, and some of my mentees participated. And then we now introduce some of this program, exhibition, career talk, and then we also introduce long learning mentoring scheme. You can see Dr. Abiodun is the one before he became doctor there. You can see follow Yinka is also so that was around 7 or 8 years ago. Mentoring. If you are a lecturer, táwọn mẹ́bà ti graduate tó fi ẹni something is fundamentally wrong with you. Kò sí ọmọ tí mo supervise tí mi ò ní thesis àti number lọ́wọ́ níbi tó wà. And you must contact me. If you don't contact me within 1 month and I come after you, you understand the meaning. So you must keep odò tó bá ṣe kíni tó bá gbàgbé kíni orísun ẹ̀ ó máa ṣe kíni. So kó má ba àparun náà ni mo ṣe máa ń contact you, and you must contact me. I must know what's happening in your industry, where you are, and I must know what you are doing. It's about mentoring. Mentoring is not ọlọ́dún mẹ́rin, ọlọ́dún márùn-ún, ọlọ́dún mẹ́fà. The total population of human being on earth is over 7 billion. Or let's be conservative. Let's say 2 billion. Ọlọ́run wá jẹ́ kémi àti ẹ pàdé. Àwa ló ti tán lẹ́yìn ọdún méjì. Something is fundamentally wrong with us. Ní àárín 2 billion, Ọlọ́run wá ní kémi àti ẹ pàdé. And you are with me for even 1 year or 1 semester, and you now thought pé tó bá ti graduate ó ti tán. No, kò tán. We must link, we must keep the link, we must continuously communicate. Mentoring is a lifelong issue. It's not just about ọdún mẹ́rin tó wá lò. Tí o bá béèrè mi ò ní bá béèrè. We normally say if mountain refuse to go to Muhammad, then Muhammad should go to the what? Mountain. That's what I do. So I keep in touch, and anytime, even if any country I check on and dress, I will just announce to my mentees, the last time I was in Hajj, I just announced it to some of them. I will be available so times, and you will see them coming around to greet you. That's lifelong mentoring. That's what mentoring, and that means that we need to actually reshape our thinking. That I'm not only a lecturer, I'm a mentor, I'm a guide to others that are coming behind, and I'm their parents here, and they are my children. So that's how we must relate. We must not just relate pé ọ̀gátà ọgọ́ta owó aláàrú àṣekínni àpè. After class, tí n bá kọ́ ẹni class, àwọn ọmọ kan wà níbi tó bá mess up, tí n bá pe òbí wọn lé. After tí n bá nà wọ́n tán ní school, wọ́n tún máa nà wọ́n lé. That's how we must. Kò sẹ́ni tó kọjá àbáwí o. Not only here, mostly I have the contact to all my students. I know their parents and the rest, and we communicate because it's a lifelong mentoring system. So, and we also introduced the PhD clinic. This outcome was at 5 years ago. So some of those who are here today, they are the product of that PhD clinic. This was what I used during my professorial inaugural lecture and rest. And I told us that we go to industries. Most of those who are here, only 1 or 2 of them are still with me. Most of them have changed job, they have graduated, they are doing well, but we still keep in touch. Anytime they have openings or opportunities in their company, they always refer back to base. Prof, we made this. Prof, we made that. And okay, I'm a send Omokowa there. Okay. Because that's how we form bond and the rest. If you are supervising someone and any wale milojoju oti work out. I'm a Muslim, and you can be any religion. If I'm celebrating Salah as your supervisor, as your mentor, and you fail to come and celebrate Salah with me, you have entered one chance. Because it's not just about the work. It's not just about the work. It's about building bond. It's about networking. It's about mentoring. It's about leaving something behind for you. And then it's about, I must be able to consume nǹkan tí mò ń produce. Ọ̀rọ̀ tèmi ò ń ṣe nǹkan tá ń jẹ kọ́, ìyá nǹkan tá ń tà kọ́ là ń jẹ o. Nǹkan tó yà ń jẹ là ń tà ní o. So if I cannot relate with you very well, or I'm doing Salah and you now tell me you are one religion, and during your role also, expect me in your house. Expect me in your house. So that is just one way of. So lastly, it doesn't matter how many resources you have. It doesn't matter your potential. It doesn't matter your capability or inefficiency. What really matters, look at that man. There are so many ladders there, and the man just need how many? Only one, in order to look at the other side of the world. But because the man is not so smart with what he is doing and the rest, you can see is never enough. You are a lecturer. You are taking nothing less than 5 courses, and you are saying you cannot publish. Something is fundamentally wrong with you. You are a lecturer, and you say you can't write research proposal. Something is fundamentally wrong with you. You are looking after the affair of a department, either as a coordinator or as HOD, and you are still complaining. Something is fundamentally wrong with you. And what is that wrong? You lack capacity for grantmanship. And my solution is just follow all these recommendations. It's on this note I say thank you for listening, and God bless us all.
الصلاة والسلام